Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, live here from Los Angeles, the Blizzard Arena. We're getting into the second day of the third stage. My name is Semler. With me is Hex, and Hex, it's the first time we're back, man.
Yeah, I barely recognize you. It seems like it's been a long time. Looking a little cleaner there today. Looking good. I'm excited. Stage 3.
Yeah, no, like I've lost 10 years essentially. Feels like back to the days, squeaky clean, fresh in esports. Yeah, so let's get into the standings. Go, let's get into the match. Come on, throw it up on. There we go, season standings. Titans still sitting pretty at the top. XL, we'll see them play today. Hex and the Shock. The Shock, they won stage 2.
At 14 games down, 14 yet to go as we enter in stage 3 here. We've got a stage 4, and then we're gonna try to get to our season playoffs there. Top 12 teams qualify, top 6 guaranteed in. Then we have a little play in there. And we've got a lot to play for some of these teams who are at the halfway mark and need to start compiling some wins here, especially our first matchup, which is Paris and Toronto.
Exactly, Paris and Toronto, real mid of the pack kinds of teams right now, battling for that best of the rest kind of spot, trying to get into the playoffs, etc. But as far as stage 3 schedule is concerned, Paris right now, they've got, they're gonna have a couple of spicy matches here, Hex.
Yeah, they've got a couple ones that you would want to pencil in as winnable. They have Mayhem and Outlaws later in this stage. Uprising, they have to play them twice, so we're going to be prepared. Dynasty has been looking good. Excelsior, we're going to see later today as well. So they have a winnable schedule. Some games more winnable than others, of course, as is always.
As is always. Then they happen to be going up against the New York XL, who are beasts in their own right.
See them later today.
And indeed, third match of the day, so be sure to tune in if you're a New York fan. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the roster changes that have come up now for the Toronto Defiant. Stage 3 roster changes, a couple of new players coming in.
Trying to revamp the tank line here. It's Sharik and Gods, and if you don't know them, you haven't been watching Overwatch at all for the last 4 years. These guys are about as old school as it comes. I casted a tournament with Gods in it. April 2016, I think his team took second place. We awarded him $150 for that result. So we've come a long way in the Overwatch League, but not the most traditional path to pro, but these guys have been grinding it out. United was his team for Sharik, so they've taken a long time to get here, and congratulations to those guys finally making it to the big stage.
Exactly, excited to see how they'll perform on the big stage, but Hex, we need their opponents out on that stage. So let's welcome the Paris Eternal.
Rocking the third kit jerseys, the All Blacks here. Looking pretty good. I like them. What do you think?
They're from Paris, though, so they can't do the haka, can they?
No, well, I mean...
It would be pretty sick, actually, to have that up on the stage, but no, not the case. It is the Paris Eternal. You can see them making through.
There you see Cruz, a former teammate of Sharik, who we both mentioned just momentarily, on a team called United, and EU contenders for a very long time, so some familiarity with them. This is the lineup that Paris is going to be putting out today. They haven't made a ton of changes in between stage 2 and stage 3, but they started making changes during stage 2, and we'll see if they can start spinning together some wins. EU has had a kind of rough go of it lately, especially in the contender scene, trying to regain some of their glory.
Exactly, glory lost, or did they have it at all to begin with, Hex?
I believe they did. EU talks a big game.
EU talks a lot. So let's go ahead and get their opponents out on the stage now. The Toronto Defiant.
Another beautiful third kit jersey there, limited editions. And there you go, in his first walkout, there is Gods. Now we've got, Toronto is an interesting team because it's, sometimes they show brilliance and sometimes you're just very confused, but obviously they thought they needed to revamp this tank line. That's why you got players from the Toronto Contenders roster, the Montreal Rebellion coming in, both the tank line starting today is going to be Gods and Sharik. Sharik, our first Latvian player in the league representing his country.
Veterans, love the name, but let's take a look at Sharik. Get him on the screen, man is focused up. I mean, it is important, the thing is, going for these roster changes. I mean, get him in here because tanks is what it's all about right now, Hex.
Yeah, exactly. And I think if you ask people about Toronto's shortcomings, it was, I mean, maybe Yakpung wasn't playing as well with his team that you expected him to, so they're just trying to find answers here. And in the current meta, you must have a great tank line, and this is the tank line that did very well in contenders. Gods is going to be in there too. Gods is such an interesting player because he's been a DPS player for a very long time. He can flex over to Diva and off tanks. He's got a very similar hero pool to maybe a hot butt type player.
Exactly, which is exactly what you need. You need to be able to be flipping through those tanks. Need to have that impact, and we'll see if the nerves are going to get to them. First time on the big stage, bit of pressure here. You're coming in for Toronto to have an impact and really make those changes. So, Gods and Sharik, they've got a bit of weight on their shoulders. Going to see if they're capable of carrying it today. Let's take a look at our map pool presented to you by Toyota. Illios to kick things off.
Illios is one of my favorite control maps. What I'm really looking forward to is when we're going to get to map 4. It is our brand new map for stage 3. On the new patch, it's going to be Havana. Saw some interesting stuff on it yesterday. We'll see if it matters or not, or if one team goes 3-0. Pretty evenly matched. The entire desk took Paris Eternal to win this match. I'd say based on records, you know, Toronto probably has the bit of an edge, but we're going to see if the new changes come in and have a great effect. That's what Toronto is hoping for.
It's definitely what they've got their fingers crossed for. Sharik and Gods. Let's see. Sharik.
It's not Sharik, it's Sharik.
But I think it's more, you could say like Sharik.
I'm just gonna call him Shark.
He shrieks as he goes into battle.
All right, well, we've got standard 3-3 coming out for both teams, and this is not a surprise on this point. Used to be a Widowmaker point, no longer. But now you're integrating new people. You don't want to try brand new strategies. They haven't had all that much time to scrim together, so going to the tried and true 3 tanks, 3 support compositions.
Just straight slamming each other in the face, trying to grind up ults. Benbest and Sharik just hanging around.
See, gets very low. You're gonna have to back off a little bit. The health pools are too low, and Gray goes down first.
Strong start here for the Defiant. Paris Eternal already having to give ground and back off. That is not how they were hoping for, what they were hoping for, and the Toronto Defiant will get first control here. They kick things off.
You can say it about most Diva players, but Gods is widely regarded as a very cerebral, very intelligent player. That's exactly what you want from that hero. Be in the right spot at the right time, make the right decisions. And a late stagger on Benbest means Toronto has first control here. Gonna hold forward on these stairs. It's usually a line that you cut. If the other team steps across this line, then you might engage, but this is where you want to hold. You want to funnel them off to one side or the other.
And you got the high ground occupied by Gods. He's going to be calling the rotation out to his team, so they know quick moves here from the Paris Eternal. They're hoping to pull a fast one on Toronto Defiant, but the Defiant are ready. That's why you hold so close up, is because you can give ground. You can really bleed time off the clock here and force Paris Eternal to take the fight too. Ivy somehow just caught out in the open though. Not sure what happened there.
Well, first Kalansari is usually a fight-defining opening there. There's just no damage. There's no mitigation of damage. They're going to toss in their Graviton Surge, leading out small. It's a great counter shatter.
Wow, they fully commit to this. The fight continues, though. We will have Gray using the Transcendence. Self-destruct over the top. Shield was up for Benbest. Nobody's going to go boom. And Paris Eternal finally removing Toronto Defiant. But for the Defiant, this is all about just getting more percentage on the board, buying more time. 62% for Toronto Defiant, and now it flips over to the Paris.
It's a confident play for Toronto to try to counter shatter, to go for the win there, but now it has left their ultimate economy in absolute shambles. They used everything they had in that fight, ended up losing it still. Graviton will be up, and Gray does not have Transcendence. They should know this. It's a small opening. If you grab against a team without Transcendence, it's usually a win.
Oh, somehow, Benbest just making it happen. I'm 37 goes down, and that's going to force the Defiant to back off. Obviously looking for the staggers here. It barely makes it around the corner. Quick play there, staying alive. And now that's actually given Paris a great chance here, because Gray now can actually continue to build up that Transcendence. And the small window that Toronto Defiant had to take advantage of the lack of that ultimate to counter it, it's going to be here for Paris. They've got everything online here to really make Toronto Defiant work for it. Danya is going to decide to kick things off.
Well, they do get the Transcendence in there, so no one's going to die just yet. They're trying to set up the combo. Does not find anything as the shield is up on the point. But Gods goes out of the fight. Very difficult. They still have the tools to bring this back should they so choose.
Yeah, rally getting used here as well from Paris. So really just committing. Toronto Defiant deciding, got to back off. We are in a tied situation now, and Paris Eternal will take the lead. 63% and counting for the Paris Eternal. Toronto Defiant still searching for a way onto this point. They've got the sound barrier. They've got the shatter, so a couple of ults online.
Yeah, what's tough is that they didn't get the Transcendence out of Gray. It is so important to have that ultimate up to prevent complete team wipes. They just go at it. Benbest is isolated.
Somehow, Sharik there already kicking it off with a good start. It really has just been the name of the game for both of these teams so far, is just run the Reinhardts at each other, start swinging hammers, and see who you can pick off. Before it was Benbest finding I'm 37, now you're going to have Sharik doing the work.
The 3-3 meta is so much about clean communication and when to disengage with the rest of your team. If you're a step too late getting up the ramp or you get caught up on the architecture, you're as good as dead. They rush down Benbest there. Now we're coming into last fight territory at nearly 90% for Paris. and 80 and counting for Toronto.
Yeah, one team fight, this is gonna be it, but we have Danya with that grab, and he has not hesitated to throw it out. Gets it eaten though this time, Gods was ready for it.
Huge.
Big plays from Gods. That's the kind of work that he needs to do right now, and Toronto Defiant up to 94%. This is it for Paris. There it is, the counter coming in. Cruising the sound barrier, does not waste time. Gods on the self-destruct, over the top and gets the triple. He goes down, but he did his job, and Toronto Defiant, this is going to be the point for them. Gray has to throw the trance in here, trying to buy some time, but it's just not gonna happen. He is gonna go down immediately afterwards, and it will be the Toronto Defiant taking the lead in the first map of the series.
Absolutely perfect self-destruct placement and timing from God to land it right on top of the team. It explodes the moment the Graviton expires, so you can move them around, push them through the self-destruct, through the shields. Great play there, and if you needed something to calm your nerves, the first stage that Gods just had will do just that.
Sick work, and that is actually going to help to get a little bit of that pressure off your shoulders, right? You get that strong start, you take that first point. Now it's Paris Eternal on the back foot here. So Toronto Defiant looking solid, looking good.
Well, it's got to be part of the mental, right? Like, you've been playing so long professionally and in contenders. You wonder, do I belong in the Overwatch League? That's the kind of stage that kind of rests you at ease. Like, yeah, I can play with these guys.
So into the second point we go. Lighthouse, plenty of ways to chuck enemies off the sides. They can go take a look at the boats and the water down there. See if either of our Lucios are going to make the play. But once again, straight into each other. Nothing really changing. Danya going to get topped up. He did drop a little low there. Shrek's got to be careful, though. He's trying to stay alive, trying to manage that shield. Doing a good job of it, hanging in there.
That's a nice comeback there from Paris, because they took a lot of chip damage early, and it looked like they were going to be the ones pressured out. However, the shoe is on the other foot. Positional control goes to Paris early on. They will capture the point.
So now on the Defiant, figure out who they can pick off here on the side of the Paris Eternal. Danya trying to make some plays. Doing a good job of getting that energy up, and he's going to be working towards that grab. They have to be careful, though. Defiant do not want to expose themselves to too much damage, because he is going to be doing work, but Nico gets stunned out in the open. Instant collapse there from the Defiant. Solid work on the side of the Defiant. They managed to whittle down that target. They get that stun.
And they win without having to use ultimates there, and now in a pretty decent spot. A grab comes in very late, but everyone's so far away. Who are you going to kill with that?
Not really going to be doing much there, Danya. I mean, he did start it off with a couple of strong grabs on the first point of this best of three, but not really the case here. You can't just really throw him out there and hope to capitalize, hope to make something happen.
It's so hard to kill things in the 3-3 meta anyway that it has to be a team effort, it has to be target focus, and to just chuck that on the retreat, maybe it's just a fat finger.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. I don't know. We're not going to look too much into it as Benbest is taken for a ride into the wall. Ivy now, there's no shield to hide behind. He is going to be going for the tracking. Great, just barely hanging in there despite it all. He is going to get staggered in the end. Toronto Defiant looking solid here. 45% and counting.
That's a great fight win too. Only had to use the Graviton, and that's going to put your economy in a very, very good spot. And that grab was absolutely free. You knew that the other team had just thrown theirs in and got nothing out of it. So now you're going to be pretty much even on it. And Gray is forever away from his next Transcendence here. So if Ivy can get there quickly, it should be another one team fight, throwing it into a team without a Transcendence counting.
Exactly. I mean, once again, the Ryan's going in, playing the games. We're going to use the self-destruct to open things up. Benbest, as soon as he tries to push past Shrek, that's not happening. Perfect shatter there. Main tank goes down, and Paris Eternal once again forced to back off. Toronto Defiant doing excellent work, 80% now. And are we going to get the camp? They're going for the maximum amount of damage here. Looks like they don't want to overextend, though.
It's really smart ultimate usage there. They used everything except for the Transcendence. Now the Transcendence keeps them alive through this Graviton surge. Holding this hallway, 92%. It is desperation time for Paris. They have to try to push in.
That's exactly what they're using here. Gray with the Transcendence, hoping to be able to touch the point. You got Finzi in there as well, so they do have the overtime wick to burn, and 2 kills coming in for Paris Eternal. Toronto Defiant are the ones who somehow cave. Finzi will get D-Mac and chucked off the side, though, so there is an edge here, an advantage perhaps for Toronto. They can try and run it back, but they have so little damage, and Ivy going down, not going to help things. So somehow, Paris Eternal, man down, and miles off the point, they somehow win it.
That's fine, though, if you're Toronto here. You just stayed on the point as long as possible, try to swing through with as much damage as possible, because at 99%, you only need to win one fight they're going to have all sorts of initiation options here. They could take this very slow because they're at 75% about on grab. They're nearing a shatter. They're going to have self-destruct. And if they want to get aggressive here, they can sound barrier in if they see an opportunity to exploit an overextension.
Oh, straight in. Once again, dance around the pillar. Midsummer in Sweden.
They just take the position. They just take it away. They rotate quicker.
On point, flip for free. Paris now the ones who have to make the plays. We'll see, there's the shatter attempt. Fizzy gets connected, Aid with the sound barrier, but 3 big kills coming through. And Toronto Defiant looking like they're gonna pick up the first map of this series, Hex. It's gonna be 2-0, and Paris Eternal on the back foot.
Super smart from Aid to save his sound barrier there for when they needed it. They were tracking ults well, knew a shatter could come down, saves their life during it. We talk about Sharik and Gods, but Aid has not seen a whole lot of time played either. A nice round from him.
Yeah, perfect start here for Toronto. Bit more chaotic on the control. Seems like it fit them, but we are taking a break. We'll be right back with the second map.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Огонь по готовности!
Pass into the iris.
There you have it, guys. The finals last year were bonkers. Be sure to get your tickets today. They have just gone on sale for the Philadelphia finals that are going down. 2019 Grand Finals of the Overwatch League. Man, sick ink, dude. That is rad. Okay. Right. Sidetracked real quick there. But yes, the finals, the tickets are on sale. Be sure to check them out.
It was the most surreal experience last year. Just being at the Barclays, watching it sold out. I think Philadelphia is definitely going to live up to the hype this year.
And the fans were awesome. What was crazy is when you were walking around New York, you were seeing jerseys everywhere.
Yeah, it was
Everybody
nuts.
was wearing their jerseys all over the place. It was sick. Such a cool time.
Overwatch took over the Bronx. Let's take over Philly again this year. The match at hand, though, is Paris Eternal versus Toronto Defiant. Toronto looking pretty dominant there, and on first glance, it just looked like they were out-positioning, out-rotating, making quicker calls, and they have new players. And now it's like all communication stuff working out, and still Toronto looked pretty clean there. Our next map will be Paris. I'm not going to make a whole map joke because those are lame, but I kind of just did, I guess. Here we go.
Pretty sure Josh made that joke earlier.
Probably. I mean, it does sound like
it is a Josh joke, I guess. Yeah. Something he would say.
So, on the defense, first is going to be Paris Eternal. This, of course, is our assault map, capture point A, right there in front of the Eiffel Tower. Take this long walk to point B, try to capture that. That's how you win the map. This is a map that has been very interesting to watch, even for an assault map, very bunker-oriented. A bunker comp being a giant shield, a giant gun, and then someone to keep it all alive.
Yeah, big turret. big turret spitting death right at the choke point, and we've seen teams get completely shut down by this strategy where they're not able to cope, they're not able to make their way through the choke points onto the point itself, and we've seen teams run through bunkers as well. So going to be curious to see how Toronto Defiant handle this. They will be starting on the offense, Paris Eternal on the defense. Danye will be on that Bastion. So we've gone for the bunker play here for Paris. Now to see what Toronto, because that's it. They just took a quick peek. What are we up against? And now we're seeing wholesale changes. And here we go, Hex.
All right. We've got a Sombra and a Genji. Genji was always considered the ultimate bunker buster because he gets in there with deflex and all the damage you put at him comes right back to your face. But now with the Baptiste in there, you know, it can be kind of hard because you have to focus on putting that energy into his immortality fields, the frisbee, the lamp, whatever you want to call it. A feigned jump early on there, trying to bait out some cooldowns.
Trying to bait that lamp, I think. Trying to get them. Hey, are you guys going to commit?
They slept Sombra in the back line.
Oh,
they should be able to get this.
Ivy's out of it though. We lose one quick, and now exactly great halt into the open aid. Somehow sneaks out of there. Unreal. Sharik just, well, he just throws himself to the walls trying to get a quick reset, and that is going to be the case. So Toronto Defiant, minute has bled off the clock here, Hex. They're down to 3 minutes to make some progress here. Danye spinning in happiness.
IM37 is playing the Sombra, and it's so important for this Sombra to get EMP online quickly. You get EMP online, no abilities up, and then you can actually just bust this bunker. But it's going to take a little bit to do so, and it's almost impossible for Genji to even get poke damage here because the uptime of the Orisa shield is insane.
This is insane. The cooldown so small, so short. We're going to have them commit a little bit here at least. Paris Eternal, though, good use of their cooldowns, will survive. Nico gets picked off early, so for the Paris Eternal, they're down a man, but they've done their damage here. Toronto Defiant just getting picked.
Yeah, those tank shots hurt. There's a quick 3. That is the second time that Neko has slept Nico. No, the first time they were unable to convert it. But here's the break point now. They've got EMP ready. They nearly have Blade and Nano Boost. EMP Nano Blade should, in theory, be able to bust this bunker.
And IM37 get through here. They're just filling the air with bullets. If he takes damage, he is immediately taken out of stealth. Looks like he did find a way to sneak through. They're doing the best they can here.
Nico
Paris
checking.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to keep an eye out, but it is looking like IM37 is going to be in position. There it is. EMP to kick things off. Good follow through here as well. Danye instantly taken down. Need a quick conversion here, though, from Paris. Otherwise, they may get overwhelmed. Gray with the trance. It worked, and we're getting the bongos here as well. Crew's going to do some damage. 5-on-5. And Danye even going for the Tracer just to get back on the point all the quicker.
They're stuck in the room right now. This could be a good Blade opportunity. Blade's going to come in.
Looking for it, but he's going to get booped back. Excellent play here. They're doing a great job on the defense. Paris shutting the door on Ivy, and the kills coming through here for Paris.
IM37 got picked early in that fight as well, so now the bunker is able to re-establish itself, although we're not a bunker anymore because the Bastion did have to get switched off. And Toronto need to be able to read this. 1 minute remains for Toronto to get some permanent progress on the point. Sitting at zeros, they didn't even get a tick.
They didn't even get a tick, and I think they were just a hair off of it as well. I missed the percentage. But Paris, that was sick, and shout out to Finzi there. That was the perfect boop that just knocked Ivy back just enough to make that blade useless. So sick. Nico looking for the hack to open things up. Yep, that's going to slow down Ivy a little bit.
He can EMP whenever he wants as well.
Just chuck it over the top, go for the aggro EMP. Oh, another sleep, unreal.
Neko has been putting him to bed. He wakes up alive, and still Paris holding here.
Yeah, self-destruct from Finn just to get a fresh mech. And they are doing everything right here on the side of Paris Eternal. Totally different team. Once you start getting into some structure, which is what's something you were, I was trying to touch on at least before we got into the break. You know, when you get that first map, it's a bit chaotic. It can perhaps play into Defiant's strategy, into their wheelhouse. Right now, Defiant, once again, just running into the blender here. Nico, still alive and doing work.
Well, it started out very well for the offense. Once they built up that EMP, they got the critical kill onto the Bastion with no resurrection there, but that'll be 0 progress for Toronto Defiant on the Paris map. Paris Eternal's defense looks strong, and this map is ripe for the picking for them.
Yeah, now all they have to do is just kind of press forward. We'll see what they're capable of right after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back from the break, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into the second half here of Paris. And, well, Paris, home map, Hex, home map.
It was pretty one-sided there. The numbers do suss that out. 21 kills for Paris, 2 for Toronto Defiant. Neko played his heart out. He slept Nico. I mean, that's a hard sentence to say, but he slept him at least 3 times, maybe 4. They were only able to convert that into 1 kill onto the Sombra. So now, for Paris to tie this up going into the half, all you have to do is get 33% of the point. We were talking a little bit in the break. I think you should maybe store in a Sombra here. Of course, Sombra's really good at busting bunkers. But maybe if you don't see the opportunity, start farming EMP, sit back on the point, put pressure on it, make them rotate back. Because with only 33% to gain, you have that time to start pulling people away. They have to respond to it or they lose the map.
Exactly, so we'll see if we're going to have some mobility here on the side of the Defiant. We do have Gods on that Diva, probably going to be on point defense, usually falls to that role. And Gods is out in front right now, trying to keep an eye on things. Not looking like the bunker here, obviously, for Toronto. Looks like the 3-3. But Paris, they're all over the place.
Well, this makes sense, too, because you, with such limited amount of progress needed, and the fact that you won't have to transition to a composition attack second point, you can just take all the time in the world, run a DPS composition, get some picks, put some pressure, wait for ults to come up, and then just win the map. Or you can do this.
Yeah, Finzy's into the back line right now. So he's doing exactly what you're talking about, Hex. Oh, no, never mind. Went all the way back.
They're going to make changes here. As soon as BenBest went back, you know they were going to start making changes. They're just going to run a mirror composition. Paris was touted as one of the best 3-3 teams coming into the league, and that has not panned out.
That has not, exactly. Europe is still weeping big salty tears about that. But we're going to see, nice nade going in. Not quite going to find the target, though. And Neko in a good position here to keep his tanks alive. That's exactly what he needs to be doing. Looking for the Hail Mary sleep. But this is sick because that Nano is going to be online so soon here if he can keep up this rate. And it is looking so far like the Defiant doing a good job on the defense here. Paris just running headfirst into him.
The defensive Winston works out so well. He's already got Primal Rage up. Just going to pop it right away. Cruz falls. Everyone purple anti-heals. That is a one-team fight. Rally comes down, but Nico's using it just to run back home.
That is so sick. What else can you do? You're just stuck in a room with an angry monkey. Nightmare. And then they get the great delay. Look at that. Perfect positioning. What are you going to do if you're Finzy? Oh, you're going to die.
A perfect first team fight for Toronto. They've got every ultimate online except for aforementioned Primal Rage, but that'll charge very quickly on the defensive chokehold here with a Winston. All that cleave damage, AoE damage, charges that all extremely quickly. Now Paris is just playing to get a grab and a shatter maybe.
Hoping. They're being very patient about it because they know they can get these ults online. Fully charged Ivy right now, just loving life, just cranking out damage. And it's looking like right now Defiant, they really want to take the fight to him. Aid once again going to kick things off with a kill on Danye. Danye did get the grab online though, but a trance has been used by Gray. Interestingly enough. And he gets slept. We got to keep an eye on that. That's the 5th sleep now for Neko.
Yeah, he's been hitting these starts pretty well. The nade comes over the top. Neko had used his ultimate ability, so now he's just trying to farm it by throwing that nade in there. Right now, though, it's a decent spot for Paris, but they know the trance just came out. They can grab this the moment they get a chance.
As soon as you spot the positioning here on Finzy. Finzy in the back line to cover his team with the D-Matrix, hoping to catch that grab. He sees the D-Matrix though right now, Ivy, so he has an idea of when it's on cooldown, and sure enough, gotta get it out there. Bomb used to initiate. We're looking for the follow-up, and it is going to happen. Pinned in the corner, nowhere to go. BenBest gets smushed, and the rest of Paris have to back off.
Second Primal Rage comes out there. Toronto did use a great deal of ultimates there, but it seems like it's been traded out rather well. There is a sound barrier for Toronto on the defense as we near only a minute left. They're playing for the draw here. BenBest has his Shatter online. There will be a rally there, but that's it. It's not your optimal initiation ultimates.
It's looking great here, Hex. It's looking like they could actually make it happen here, get that draw going, because Paris looking a little stumped unless BenBest can come with the goods, looking for that monster Shatter to open the door. Gonna get in, shields are there, sound barrier used as well. Perfectly handled here by Toronto so far. Now they need to capitalize on it. Chark, he got boosted as well, so he's gonna be up to the Primal so quickly here. Just needs to survive, instantly hits it, gets the Primal off, closes the door on Paris.
Transcendence is there, so we're not out of it just yet. Rally is available though. A lot of sustained hit immediately as Toronto tries to re-engage.
No time wasted. This is the last fight, exactly. Sound barrier used here by Cruz, hoping that it will make the difference here for his team, but they're doing such a great job here, Toronto. Nobody really out of position, nobody overextending, making it very difficult for Paris to find that stun kill to kick things off. Sherrick doing a good job, and once again, I mean, he's up 50% already on the next Primal. Doing so good at surviving here and doing the damage. Gods, once again, casual self-destruct out of the open, forces Paris off of the point, and there it is. Danya coming up with 2 kills, but Ivy strikes right back. Danya trying to make the difference for his team.
Now that they have Rally, though, the sustain is all there, and the reinforcements will be there too, and you can fly and spasm all you want, but it does seem that at the end of the day, Paris will take the map of Paris.
Home turf tying it up 1-1 here in our first match of the day at the Overwatch League. Paris Eternal looking good, fighting back. That was so patient. They're like boa constrictors. We're taking a break, and we'll be back with the halftime show after that.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right. So far, we have a blistering fast match on our hands. It's all tied up after Paris answers back on the Paris map. Going up against Toronto. We got some fresh faces on the stage today, but some familiar ones here at the desk. We got Puckett alongside Zoe and Bren, and we're doing halftime at the wall. Bren's gonna break down a Telestration in a minute, but first, we gotta talk about Gods and Sherrick, the 2 new faces on the Toronto Defiant. We knew they were coming in. We were wondering, will they see some stage time? Not only are they seeing stage time, they're making highlight reels. So
absolutely, both players have been performing extraordinarily well. Gods, of course, with that huge bomb on the ruins of Illios, and a lot of these big plays we've seen from Gods have actually been set up by Aid. Their cohesion is already so spot on, considering that they haven't been playing a very long time with each other. This is really impressive. I do think that Sherrick actually played a lot better than Ben Best did, who is by now actually seasoned on this stage. So overall, I'm very impressed with what we have seen from the Toronto Defiant.
Brent, what did you see from the players in this first half? Because it was all Defiant in that very quick control, but then both teams kind of struggled on their attack on Paris. It was an interesting map all around.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, the footage is going to support this, but it was like, it was a very one-sided affair. Blink and you miss it almost. Paris, they love this map. Every time I speak to Cruz, he says it is their home map in 2 senses, I guess. But again, they struggled as well in this attack. They almost didn't make it happen. A couple of the ults were being misused a little bit, but one thing I do want to praise actually is, again, Shark and Gods and how quickly they've managed to mesh into this previously an entirely Korean-speaking roster. And these guys are, they're native English speakers, so that's a very difficult task at hand. I mean, again, hats off to them, the match they managed to make it 1-1 now at the half. But it's looking forward now in the next couple of maps that I'm going to be interested in, because we're going to see Havana again coming up as map 3. And this map has been an interesting one, really. And it's defending orientated. I'm going to try and run through exactly what we're going to be seeing in that map 4 as we come down later. We've got Hollywood in between. But I've got an Insights powered by Intel that's going to be breaking down exactly what teams are going to be doing on Havana in particular. And it's... You'll see as I point this out. So the first off, you've got the cart here that you obviously need to push off to your objectives. But your immediate challenge is going to be right off the bat, as you can see this high ground here. This is where we've seen teams setting up right off the top. They often run with the Orisa, they often run with a Bastion. You're going to be shooting down, they've got a full line of sight down there. That's your first challenge, breaking through that. We saw Seoul Dynasty struggle with that the other day. It doesn't stop there. It's actually a pretty long first hole in this point A. You get multiple opportunities to defend this. If you want to defend close, you can probably get 3 defenses coming through. But if we ignore that and we head our way into point B, that's where it actually does get interesting, because point B, I'm telling you, this is brutal for attackers. This is going to be incredibly difficult to push through. You can see here straight off the bat, I paused it here, they've got this entirety of this high ground to push down from, loads of angles to attack them, again, from the high ground into the low ground as they try and push the cart through here. But the worst part is just coming up, and you'll see as well, this is where both Florida Mayhem and Seoul the other day managed to get full house. And it's this choke point here, because you only have 2 angles of which you can attack from. You can either come from the right flank, or you can go in from the left. Both times are brutal. The defenders have high ground once again. But if you do manage to push through that, and if you do manage, I mean, I'm not sure when we're going to be seeing a team actually manage to push all the way to last. This is ridiculous. This last point, again, very similar to Junkertown. This thing's wide open. I don't know what comms we're going to be seeing on here. Pirate ship? Goats? I don't know. It's going to be wide open. Again, we haven't seen any team actually get this far yet on this map. But again, you push through here, maybe you get to the final point, and it just gets even more difficult. Because again, you got another choke point right here. The high ground setup as well in the top left. They can just shoot down here. A very difficult map to try and at least complete now as well. You can see there's so many angles of what the defenders can attack from here. It's absolutely brutal. It is. It's absolutely brutal. And again, I've got a clip to add on the end of this as well, so you can start to see as well what the other teams are struggling with. We saw this yesterday. Both of these teams got full health at this point here. It's hard. It's difficult stuff. So Havana is going to be an interesting one for a lot of these teams. I think it's going to be similar to Junkertown, what we saw last season. You're going to see some weird results on it. And that was my monologue on Havana.
That's very long, but excellent insights powered by Intel from Brent. Give it up for Brent, everybody. Fantastic work. A new map. Brent has never seen the 3rd point. That's why we sped through that one. Because he always full holds. So we were on the fence on the desk. In fact, it was the 3 of you for Toronto or for Paris. I went with Toronto. Now that you've seen 2 games and we're already seeing how well that Sherrick and Gods are playing in this lineup, how do you see the second half playing out?
See, that's the thing. Unlike someone else who stands very close to me, I do not like to flip-flop. So I will stick with Paris based on the actual maps coming up and the possibility of running a little bit more bunker heavy, which will work in their favor. I do think, though, that chances are Toronto is gonna take this one home, but I'm sticking with my prediction.
I like it. She's sticking with it. Stay into your guns. I like that. Blizzard Arena, are you guys ready for some more Overwatch? Enough talking from us. That's going to do it for halftime. When we come back, it's a big game 3 as we go to Hollywood next.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, from the break. We got Brent breaking down the info for us, Hanks, Zoe dropping the hot, fiery bombs, and Puckett, still Puckett. It's awesome. Those baby blues, I mean, it's hard to look away.
Yeah, it's just Puckett stuff. Great walkthrough on Havana. I agree with Brent that we might not ever see the third point of Havana. We will see a fourth map, though, and it will matter as we are tied up 1-1 between Toronto and Paris. Little inside information that Paris considers Paris their home map in more than one sense. It's one of their favorite maps. I struggle in a little bit, though, still, and I'm very impressed with the Toronto additions so far. The tank line has looked good, the communication looks pretty strong, but these two teams evenly matched and both desperate for a win, trying to get some momentum to try to get themselves in the talk for season playoff finals.
Exactly. They are really in that kind of best of the rest battle right now. Mid of the pack, trying to figure out how to catch up to the likes of the Shock, the New York Excel, who we will be seeing later, and obviously the other Canadian team, Vancouver, the Titans.
They've lived up to their name. Our next map here is going to be Hollywood, one of my favorite all-time maps. But that was usually when we had Widows on both sides, and the rooftops were of vital importance here. We'll see what each team wants to run here. Of course, it is a hybrid map.
I'll give
very
you
much
one
like
guess, Hex.
Well, we'll see. I'm not silly. I think we're going to see a little bit of different strategies. Capture that point, payload unlocks, push the payload, get as much progress as you can. There you see the team's records. The Eternal has so far struggled on this map at 0-2. The Defiant have not lost, but they've tied once. 1-0-1 are the records. Let's take a look at the defense heading out already, as they will not be able to switch. It does look like a standard 3-3 from the Toronto Defiant, which I expect them to run mostly because of the new additions. You don't have time to practice really all these different pocket strategies.
Yeah, exactly. You're allowed to make more mistakes with 3-3, so that's handy to have when you are trying to get these new players comfortable with the roster.
More tanks, more mistakes. Paris is going to run a variation here. They're going to run a Sombra onto this, so a lot of this is going to depend on just the Sombra getting EP up and getting good target selection.
Hopefully we'll see where Danya decides to get around. He is already on the back line, on the point as well. Could go for that play. It was Blues Cruz, though, not shaping up nicely here for Paris. They just got shredded. 1 kill on IM37 is not, what? The turnaround coming in here from Paris. All of a sudden, they're finding kills.
Yeah.
Much bigger impact here for Paris, given that Toronto Defiant have to run miles to get back to this point to defend it.
Now, Toronto in a kind of strange spot now. They're not really retreating. Now they finally do, but God's going to get caught out late. He goes and gets a pack, and that's really just going to probably give more ult charge over to the other team, but it seems like he wants to stall out as much as possible. The rest of his team comes in to take a 5v6.
Let's go. Let's see. We've seen it work in the past, even in this series.
They just need to bleed ults out. That's kind of your best case scenario, is bleeding ults out of the other team.
Fizzy doesn't hesitate. There's the grab to kick things off. Nice move there to put Shark off his line. But it will still be the Defiant falling in the end. Burning some more time off the clock, though.
Okay, not
Making
great.
them work for it.
Not great, but not terrible either for Toronto Defiant. At least they got the opposing Graviton Surge out of the other team. That's the best they could have hoped for in a 5v6 scenario like that. Now the payload unlocks. This snooty robot executive will curse you the whole time as you try to get him to his VIP parking spot. And right now, Paris in a pretty decent spot, even though they had to use grab. EMP is up, and EMP is a fight-winning ultimate that you often don't have to use anything else with.
Him being invisible is certainly going to help. Here we go, into it. Oh, Trance has already been used, though, so now you can actually delay it a little bit. Get a little bit more of an impact, exactly that. There's the timing. Sound barrier, though, perfectly played here by Aid. Still going to lose Shark, and Nako goes down as well for the Defiant. So a lost fight, despite the attempt here to turn it around for the Defiant. It will be the Paris Eternal crushing through.
It's really nice from Paris, though, because they had just gotten grabbed. And now the EMP comes off and the Shatter comes in. So there's no follow-up on that grab. No one's able to get anything done with it. They didn't even get the grab combo out, of course, being the self-destruct because of that EMP. Let's take a look at the economy right now. Finzi will have Graviton for the next fight, and they know that Neko just used Transcendence and Sound Barrier came out.
Well, Defiant need to start getting some kills here. That's the main thing that I'm seeing. 15 kills for Paris, 2 for Defiant. They're just not closing. When they get the edge, they're not taking advantage of it. And here it is, Finzi again with the grab over the top. This time, though, Toronto Defiant come up with the goods. 4 quick kills for them. They're finally going to halt the progress.
A little bit late of a Graviton from Finzi there, and now he's not going to have it for the next fight. Of course, the one difference in this composition does make all the difference in the world, and that is going to be Donnie. Another EMP about ready to go as we enter into the streets phase here of Hollywood. Around second point. Now high ground advantage for Toronto. They've had time to take the elevators to the top. It's gonna help Ivy just rain bombs on the other team and get his Graviton up as quickly as possible.
And Danya's got his EMP ready as well, so they can just look for it. Waiting to get that cloak going, ready. And now we go. Right over the top through it. Is his team in position to take advantage of it? It looks like they are. And there it is. EMP immediately aims for Neko, gets him. He may lose 8 as well, and that's the back line dead here for the Toronto Defiant. This sets it up for Paris Eternal to just go running right through the defense.
They got Neko at 92% of his Transcendence. Maybe he would have been able to react to that decloak sound a little quicker. But as it stands, Zenyatta absolutely melts to an EMP, strips off his shield. 50 HP is nothing but a soft whisper. They will go down. The question is, can Toronto mount a defense here? They have Graviton Surge ready. They will have Transcendence as well, so they should be able to at least pressure this point.
2 minutes 20 on the clock here for Paris. Still a little bit of room to work with here, but Toronto, they need to get it done now. There's the grab going through. Trance was ready here from Gray. Even the Shatter getting thrown out. Shrink is getting caught in the open, and he is gone. Good focus fire there from Paris Eternal, and that is not going to help things here for the defense. As Ivy, he's got nowhere to hide, no shield.
There's absolutely no shield, so it's going to be a ton of free damage. They're forced to use the sound barrier. They get grabbed afterwards.
Now, Ben gets focused down before he can take the charge. Still trading back and forth, but these are some kills coming through here from Toronto.
Well, Toronto's going to be able to hold this one for certain right now, as they got the respawn advantage here. They respawn right outside those doors, so they're able to get people back. Nice stall-out tactics for Toronto during that fight to use the sound barrier, to use all the tools that they had to be able to stall this one out. We've seen carts get to this point and stop right about here in the last day or so. 1 minute and 20 seconds remain on that clock. Gods has a self-destruct ready. You can use it for a combo, but if you're far away, it's fine to just get a remech here. Danye far away from that EMP.
He's got some work, but he can farm it quickly if the fight goes on long enough. Minute on the clock now. And so far, each team is just looking for an opening, or perhaps buying time. I mean, Danya's up to 80% now on that EMP. He's doing a great job.
He was at 30 when I said that. He's gonna have EMP ready to go. They're getting pushed back. They want to wait for the right position here, but a grab comes out.
Cold as brass, right on the open, no fear at all. Gets the grab in. There's the EMP from Danya. Toronto Defiant, 4 of them hacked. Still, God's alive. He can try and buy some time, and it looks like it works out because Paris not able to get the follow-up.
Well, Neko had transcended through that EMP as well, so the EMP gets absolutely nothing. Shatter up, rally up, barrier up. Small advantages here for Toronto on the defense. 30 seconds left. We're nearing last fight territory.
This is it, exactly. Everything on the line now for Paris. Defiant doing a good job of holding down. Sherrick has got his Shatter ready to go as well, perhaps hoping for Ben Best to push past so he can go ahead and lay out the rest of his team. Rally's used on both sides now, so we will get the bonus armor, and there it is. Grab, kick things off. God's DMX makes it easy. There's the point blank Shatter coming through from Ben Best, and Paris Eternal at the very end might be able to finally break this defense and get a bit more time to work with here on the clock.
The last couple kills really seal the deal there. Ivy had Graviton, had they been able to peel back, maybe they get that thrown in there. Maybe get a Shatter into it, but as it stands, split spawns come out. That's a whole lot of donation to the human fund right there. Danya's got another EMP. Gonna try to keep rolling, take positional advantage if they can. The crew's just gonna back up. See where they can get up front here.
Getting again to that minute territory though, so they're not gonna have a whole lot of room to maneuver here. Paris Eternal, they need a strong final push. The EMP can give them that. Toronto Defiant are spread out, but a good EMP could be a quick fight here for the Paris Eternal and some real progress. A lot riding on Danye here to make it count.
He's waiting for his abilities to come up so he can go invisible. He's detected, but it doesn't matter. I think he's gonna,
Right over the top, there it is. Many hacked, 4 of them once again, but Neko dodged it, has the trance online. Going to be keeping everybody up here, and the 2 kills coming through here for the Defiant, trying to fight back the Paris Eternal, but it will be the Defiant closing the door on him. 30 seconds now on the clock here for Paris, and it's a hard reset.
And even as bad as it was early on for Neko to get EMP'd in that doorway, he has been on the spot with these Transcendences since then, shutting down EMPs 2 fights in a row. 16 seconds remain. There's a Graviton Surge available and nothing to counteract it as in the way of support ultimates for Toronto.
Looking for it though, grab it is in.
God's got it!
God's again. Second time he's managed to eat a grab. He's doing his work, and he does get picked off before he can remech, but still, man has done his job. Toronto Defiant now in position to hold this. Have to be careful. Don't want to overextend, but there's the stun combo. IM37 coming up with the goods. Finzi now dropping so low, not able to collect the kill. Paris Eternal still trickling in one after another. It's on Toronto Defiant now to hold, and Neko with the trance, gonna make it possible. Cruz attempted it, but it's not gonna get you too far here, buddy, and Finzi is gone. That is going to be it here for the push. 2 points and change for Paris Eternal on the offense.
A very solid result for your offense on Hollywood there. I'm very impressed with the Toronto support line. Gods, of course, the new addition has done his job denying Graviton surges.
Yes, twice now he's managed to get one. Sick work on his side. We'll be right back after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Into the iris.
Огонь по готовности!
Pass into the iris.
There we have it. Toronto Defiant getting work done. Hex getting work done, but it's the Paris Eternal right now who are looking to turn things around. They didn't quite get the push that they were looking for there.
It's a strong push. They added some new faces in Stage U to try to turn out their season around a little bit. Danya being one of them. Did some work early on with the Sombra, was getting EMP in about a minute each. Was able to find Neko on the streets phase, but after that, Neko got the better of it. Was able to hide and get Transcendence. It's a very tough spot for a Sombra. A lot of it is ult tracking. So does the Lucio have ultimate? Then I need to focus on him, and he's got to get EMP. Does Zenyatta have ultimate? And if he does, I have to make sure that he gets EMP, and I get him. He did it. He got him early on, but it's very difficult. You have to be able to convert those into kills, and sometimes your eyes get really wide as Sombra, and you say, like, I see everything here, and it's going to be a big EMP, but no one's in position to capitalize on it. So if you EMP 5 people and no one dies, did you really EMP anyone at all?
Oh man, that's a tricky question, isn't it? And Neck was also so good. The last 2 EMPs, he was hiding the entire time, which meant the trance was up. You hacked 4, but you still got the trance to deal with, and nobody died.
It's my favorite.
Tough life.
It's my favorite mini game that goes on in this game. It's been going on since someone's been introduced in the game. Is Zenyatta versus Sombra, and like, can you bait them into transcendencing when you're not getting EMP? Can you use it? Like, it's such a mind game.
Oh, progress here from Toronto Defiant, making it past the choke. Going to force Paris Eternal down onto the low ground here eventually. Nice attempt there from IM37 to get the kill on Danye. Danye going to survive it though. That's going to put Nico at risk though, Ben Best as well. Paris Eternal have to be careful because some serious progress is being made by the Defiant on the point. 2 ticks picked up. Still looking for the kill here. And it's going to be Sherrick going down first.
Yeah, it's tough to lose that, but it's not a lost fight just yet. Again, this is kind of, can you get blood from the stone and make them use some of these ultimates here? I think Paris is going to be smart. No, he's going to use it.
Yeah, why not? He gets Danya gets the EMP so quickly. Gets the aggro, like he just gets the aggro poured in there. EMPs their face. Toronto Defiant sent back to spawn. 2 minutes 40 on the clock though, and that's a lot of progress. 2 permanent ticks of progress made, and they still have plenty of time on the clock here for the Defiant.
The bad stagger on Gods there. That was kind of insulting. Early on, Toronto did a great job of rotating around Neko because he was caught out in a couple strange spots, but when your team has to rotate to cover for your Zenyatta's positioning, then everyone else kind of gets in a bad spot there, and that led to too much damage onto Shark, and then they were able to clean him up towards the end.
Well, they're going to go for the same strategy here to find straight out onto the point.
That's it.
Until they lose 8.
Yeah, time to go home.
Well, that's a tough break. Don't give him anything more to work with, but Paris 5 ults online, but Toronto are ready with the 6-pack, so crack them open, boys. Toronto Defiant, time to get it done.
They're gonna stagger Gods again. This is a big old welcome to the Overwatch League moment, as that's 2 staggers onto Gods early in these fights, and just like that, we are down to 90 seconds on the offense here. 2 ticks, they've kind of piecemealed it together. Need 1 more to unlock that payload.
Danya's going to be Johnny on the spot as well with the EMP, 60%. That's within his wheelhouse. He's going to be able to get into the back line and start farming up. Trying to find, once again, straight onto the point. They've got all the ults though, so this is going to get fun. There's the grab thrown in, looking to capitalize on Finzy. Finzy will get picked off by M37, but there's a counter grab in as well on the side. But Defiant, they've got the man advantage now. Without the Zarya, it's going to get hairy here for the Paris Eternal. Definitely looking dicey, but Danya with the big hack once again though. Aid, Neko, both of them alive. The back line survives it for Toronto.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect EMP. He gets 5, he strips off the sound barrier shields. That's exactly what they needed. Should be able to convert this. A desperation shatter comes in. A late kill on Adanye, but it matters not as the cleanup comes in. And 2 times unlucky. And they're getting, the Brigitte had it both times, trying to add some humiliation there. But Paris's defense holds strong yet again. Looking to go up in this series 2-1. Not much online to work with here for Toronto's offense. Same could be said about the defense, but that critical transcendence is up for the Paris Eternal.
Exactly, so they will be able to force it. Oh wow, they're just going to use it to take the fight to him. Paris, let's see, does this work? Does this pay off? Sherrick, he cannot afford to go down. He has to survive this, and it's not going to happen. The pressure's too great. Ivy goes with the grab. We're going to have that 1-for-1 trade, and we're going to lose Nico as well, and perhaps this is going to cost the Paris Eternal in the end.
They just got to be able to touch the point, and that's exactly what happens when you aggressively use Transcendence in that situation. Get in there, you don't get the kills with it. The swing back comes from Ivy. There's nothing to defend against that Graviton Surge, and perhaps a bit of hubris for the Paris Eternal. The onus is on Toronto to push that. They're on the offense, and also they have to push quickly because that's the only way you defeat a Sombra Goats, right? A Sombra 3-3 composition, the best way to play against it is to play as aggressively and as quickly as humanly possible. Toronto was not doing that, but a blunder from Gray. He's had some questionable transcendences thus far in the series.
Tough plays there, but they decide to get in there.
That's not even just Gray. The team calls that. The team initiates the fight. But it's rough.
Oh.
Still in a good spot, though. Only 2 minutes left.
Exactly. I mean, they still got a lot of ground to cover here on the side of the Defiant, so it's not going to get any easier for him. Nico decides it's time to rally. Danya is working on it. I kind of wanted to see him throw the EMP out, considering how quickly he's been generating it. He's been holding on to this one for a while. Grab is thrown in, though, by Finzy. That's going to get everybody together here on the side of the Defiance, and 2 kills should mean, yes, and it will.
Excellent patience there, too. They save the ultimates that they need for that one. A grab cleans up the entirety of that team. EMP still ready, Shatter still ready. EMP Shatter is a brilliant combo. EMP, of course, knocks down the shields. Nothing to stop it. Zarya can't use her bubbles to stop it either. So an EMP Shatter can be a full team wipe here, and it's going to be tough because really Danye can just hang out at high ground and choose whenever he wants to drop in on this.
Oh, there's the grab, kick things off. There's the EMP. Sound barrier goes up at the perfect time, and Sherrick is going to go down once again. The focus fire always so good on the side of Paris Eternal. They really are focusing down this Rhine, not letting him survive and not giving anywhere for the Toronto Defiant to hide.
Well, it's been perfect Discord placements, too. As a Zenyatta, really, you just always want to Discord the Rhine if you can, because it gives your Rhine such an advantage when you're swinging away at each other through shields and around corners. And he just has been getting discorded and deleted. It's very difficult to adjust to a new team as a Reinhardt, because 1 meter too far forward, and you're too far forward, and you get isolated.
Let's say Paris doing a great job on the defense so far. Now we're down to 10 seconds. This is getting to the territory now where Toronto Defiant are no longer allowed to make a single mistake. Rally used by IM37 to kick things off, but Sherrick again getting hacked. Tanya once again making the magic happen here for Paris Eternal. They lose one, they've lost Ben Banners, but there's no follow-up, and Paris Eternal still in this fight. Toronto Defiant, they have the grab online here with Ivy. See if they decide to commit.
It's kind of tragic too. He knocked down 4, but they're unable to secure as many kills as they'd like because they have to go back and get the cart. They're in overtime. They had to go touch.
They can't leave it. Now Gray getting the pick on 8. Headshot lays him out. There's the grab to take him, and we are going to have 2 quick kills coming in here to kick things off for the Paris Eternal. They've only lost their Lucio. That's not the worst. Toronto Defiant, though, going to get cleaned up, and this is going to look like Paris Eternal will take the lead in the series, 2-1.
A nice late shatter from Benbest, knocks down several and secures Hollywood for Paris. Very nice play there. They've had their ups and downs, has Paris, but now they're up 2-1, looking to close out this series as we will return with our new map, Havana, right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Pass into the iris.
Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности. Огонь по готовности.
Pass into the iris.
There you have the men dressed in black. They withstand the push from Toronto Defiant on Hollywood. They will take the lead in the series, 2-1. Paris Eternal looking good, Hex.
Well, they need to start putting some more wins on the board. Not out of it yet, towards the bottom of the pack with their record, but you start gaining some momentum. Now you've got a new map pool, which seems to favor them. They like this. We'll see how they do on Havana here, but they've made changes. You know, not the most recent changes like Toronto has, but
Sure.
It takes a little bit of time to gel in this game that's all about teamwork, and especially this meta, which is so defined by teamwork. You don't have hard carry snipers or tracers really playing too much right now. Maybe we'll see some of that on our new map, Havana. We've seen some interesting compositions. It does seem to lend itself to a bunker-style defense. There's areas to set up. Defenders get a lot of free high ground on this point. But as I've been saying all day with Toronto Defiant, did you have time to practice set strategies? Or are you just saying, well, you guys have been playing 3-3 in contenders, maybe we'll just keep playing 3-3.
Keep playing 3-3.
And it's the easiest way to integrate new members of the team, especially new tank members as well. You know, like, hey, can you flex to a Bastion and play Orisa? No, we play tanks. So that seems like it's going to be the Toronto Defiant defense coming out in a standard 3-3. Maybe holding very far forward to deny perhaps a pirate ship type of composition, a Bastion on the cart, but seems like both these teams just want to smash heads and play what we've been playing the last 3 stages or so.
Rinse and repeat, Hex. Rinse and repeat. Wax on, wax off. That sort of thing. You're going to get it right eventually. And so far it has been working for Paris in this matchup. Plays from Gods, plays from the tank line on the side of the Defiant. Hasn't been quite enough to crack though. So Paris, so far so good. They haven't dropped anybody, and I mean, even if they drop anybody, their spawn is right there, so they wouldn't be at the end of the world. It's Toronto Defiant, they need to stay alive, and Gods nearly gets picked off there. So close to him going down, and he will get DMX'd.
Yeah, Paris had to play back a little bit there, but you see Gray has done so much work already. Gets Transcendence down, and this should be a one fight with 2 tanks down. A rally was used by IM37. Not the biggest of deals. Pretty much you always smash rally unless the fight is 100% lost. But there comes Paris swinging up the gate. Really smart plays there from Ben Best and Gray working on it. There was a moment where Gray had to throw his orb onto someone who wasn't Reinhardt, which is usually not ideal. But Ben Best peels back, they disengage a little bit, and now look at this ultimate advantage. They had to use Transcendence, but Gray got it in 56 seconds, so not the biggest deal.
That's the thing, he is so fast at generating. The man is cranking out numbers and hurt right now. So let's see more of him. Danye doing a good job, got the grab online, has to be careful, does not want to get picked. Will survive it. Grab thrown in here by Ivy though, but we will have the sound bearer up for Paris Eternal. That is going to keep everybody alive. Never mind, Ben Best somehow goes down in all that mix.
The counter grabs, Transcendence going to come in to try to get aggressive on it, knowing that the grab has already come out. They're going to push forward through that. Danye gets picked off, and IM37 charges that rally very quick. Again, that's why you don't really mind the rally in the last fight. That didn't seem all that, ideal. Because look at these at 80%. It charges insanely quickly, especially against a 3-3 composition where you're just flailing away at the front line.
Yeah, where you're just doing constant damage. And healing, keep that in mind as well. Sherrick's got to be careful, doesn't want to get picked. But so far, Paris, they're keeping their cool. There's the shatter, but an instant self-destruct thrown in by Gods is going to make it difficult for Paris to do anything about it. Defiant giving ground, but that's fine. They can afford to do it. And IM37 doing a great job right now with this rally. Everybody armored up on the side of the Defiant.
That seemed like a bit of a panic shatter there from Jarek. He got booped forward. Cruz did a great job of finding the wall ride angle and pushing him forward. Again, Jarek gets isolated here. Grab comes out late.
Has to be careful with that aggression. Maybe he was hunting a bit too hard there, the kill on Ben Best. But it is going to be Ben Best finding IM37, and Toronto Defiant here on the defense. It does not favor them to be losing players like this, and it's looking like a first point for Paris. Unless they can make it back in time, Defiant is going to be close.
It gets so difficult to capitalize on a Graviton when you don't have your Reinhardt up to be able to swing through any shields that are up there, just to do as much 6-man damage as possible, and they lost him early.
That delay from Gods, the time he bought from Gods is going to give his team time to get in here and contest again. 3 meters away from the point, but Paris, they still have to get the work done. Self-destruct over the top, removes Neko, no Discord now to worry about. Danye decides, hey, it's time to get that grab in, so they are looking to just shut Toronto out. And sure enough, Toronto is just getting wiped clean.
No support ultimates to be able to fight back from that one had just been used. And that will be first point of Havana captured. Let's add some time to the clock. They have now nearly 3 minutes to try to get through second point. This is where the defender's advantage becomes very striking. And you see already the offense trying to take some high ground away, because you can't just sit below this and get shelled. And this entire second point is just catwalks and all sorts of high ground that the defense is given very easy access to.
It's a hamster home, Hex. Just follow the tunnels all over the place, the catwalks everywhere. You're going to get lost in all this mess. Payload will get challenged here. IM37 with the rally. Not going to let Paris Eternal make any progress for free. And Paris still trying to find their way through here. It's just hard to find a target. Where are they?
Seems like they've dropped to the low ground here. Now still putting some pressure on the cart. From the low ground, Ivy's actually beaming them down up top.
Well, there we go, Fancy. Giving Ivy a taste of his own medicine. That's a grab. Not going to help things here for the Defiant. Now need to find the kills on the side of Paris Eternal. Do not want to overextend. Gray, careful, gets caught, but they do trade it. Once again, Shark goes down. And that is not going to help things here for the Defiant. Paris Eternal is shaping up to actually get some real progress here.
Yeah, they're going to be able to win this fight eventually. It's just some stall from Gods. He gets pushed out of his mech. They will stall him out just a little bit, but they don't want him stalling the cart, so they have to dispatch him. Now the ultimate economy in great favor of the Paris Eternal here. No support ultimates, but nothing really to pressure them down too much either. They can just use tank ultimates on tank ultimates and continue to push here.
They have been seeming like they like using the self-destruct to initiate. Fidzy could go for that once again here, lob it over the top. Grabs for Shark to get that shield out of position. Grab committed, and there we go. Grab and a self-destruct combo. Shark was pinned against the wall. He goes down. Solid start here for the Paris Eternal. Need to keep Ben Best up, but it's looking like he will not make it because he goes for the shatter and gets punished by Ivy.
Ivy Does a lot of damage there. This one is not quite over yet, though. Still in this, and a nice kill takes on Neko.
Losing Neko could hurt here because that's going to be an Ivy goes down. Grab is in. Tried to counter it, but it's just too much pressure here. And Paris Eternal looking like we're going to get to see that third point here, Hex. They are going to pick up 2 on Havana. And it's Toronto Defiant now. We're scratching their heads wondering, okay, what do we got to do next?
All right, and a treat for the viewers at home. The first time we're going to see the third point here of Havana. Ivy, I don't know if it's a communication thing with the rest of his team, but some of these grabs have been very questionable. Trying to grab when 2 people down, trying to grab with your Ryan down, trying to grab with your Zen down. There's just no sources of extra damage. You can't do it all alone in Zarya.
Castle looks kind of familiar to me. I don't know where I'm getting that from, but there you go. Castle, third point. Getting into it. Paris. Let's see, some real progress possible. Put some pressure on Gods. Keep eyes on the D-Matrix. That's what Danya is minding right now. Does not want to get that grab. God's seen 2 of his grabs so far this match. Evan does a good job of hiding it. Sure enough, right over the top. Again for the combo. And again, it works. Unbelievable. Finzi with the 2 on the self-destruct. Weakening the defense here for the Defiant.
Well, this one's all over, but the stall out now as they continue to clean up. And it hasn't felt this one-sided, but as far as the numbers go, 34 eliminations for 35 now eliminations for Paris. 6 for the Toronto Defiant. It's actually amazing how stalled out this defense has been able to put on, given that they've only actually gotten 6 eliminations.
Yeah, they're just not able to close the kills down. Get somebody low, you need to capitalize, you need to confirm that, and it's just not happening. So Toronto, let's see, holding at the arch. They got the high ground. It's going to be tough for Paris. Trying to move their way through, instantly chucked out. I am 37. We will have the rallies on both sides, and now we're going to get swinging. Ben Best doesn't want to overextend, but there's Gray with the transit. So Ben can definitely go ham now, looking for the hammer swings, looking for the money. So he already has his shatter. This is so tough. There you go. I mean, Finzi finally trying to apply a little bit of pressure on the high ground, but there's the grab right into the thick of things. 5 seconds left on the clock for Paris. They need to win this fight. Now we're starting to see the ults come through. Oh, that's somehow finds Jay.
Great bursts from both sides. And now Toronto's able to get everyone down, able to come back and touch the cart as well. Very important. And they, able to deny the cart touch. What I meant.
It's looking like Cruz was so close to getting there, but he doesn't make it in time to get the overtime. Still, it would have just, he was done anyways. He was the only guy there. So.
It was just shatters and the counter shatters, but that is the furthest progress we've seen at the Overwatch League level on Havana.
That is a tough nut to crack.
10 kills, the final tally for the Toronto Defiant. 35 for Paris. They were able to kind of roll through that second point very well. Some ultimate mismanagement and some mistakes for the Toronto Defiant, but that's to be expected when you're not running the same roster that you've run for 14 games prior to this. So now all Paris has to do to win this series is stop them before about halfway through the third point. And the advantage that Paris has in this situation is that Toronto has shown you nothing but standard 3-3. So you don't have to guess, you don't even really have to scout, you don't really have to figure this one out. You can assume safely they're going to run standard 3-3.
What is it? Practice a kick 1,000 times or practice 1,000 kicks once? So which is where scary Hex.
Something like that. But now they know they can run maybe a Sombra into this, and it worked well for them on Hollywood. Paris is not exactly a team that's going to throw a whole lot of curveballs at you either. So I would expect this would be the one wrinkle we'll see, would be a Sombra on the defense here, because she's so good at coming from high ground and winning these fights, and because the defenders get this high ground on second point, you're gonna have a lot of options for EMP, and everyone's really clumped up in that area as well. It's a very claustrophobic second point. The walls are very close together. Scout comes out from Donnie early on, and they're not gonna be surprised to see 3-3 from the Toronto Defiant.
Yeah, 3-3. This time there is gonna be a little bit of a curveball thrown. Neko going for the Ana instead of the Zen. So the one change coming out here for it.
Well, they ran it, yeah, they did run this on Paris. Neko was very good for sleep darts. And so it's kind of their counter to the Sombra compositions here. Because of course Zenyatta sometimes can be just a potato against a Sombra. Very easy target, whereas Ana can still output a lot of healing even when she is hacked.
Exactly. Looking for the throughput, and the nades can be so great. Tied up in the combos. Danye, though, just soloing IM37.
Got EMP ready.
That's so solid there for Paris. Great start here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Nobody saw that, Danye. There you go, second try. Looking for it. Nano perfectly timed, though. Gonna go right on through, but still 2 kills coming in here for the Toronto Defiant, despite the fact that 4 of them are hacked. Ryan doesn't care. He's just gonna swing a hammer into your face regardless.
I love the Ana for so many reasons against a Sombra-based 3-3 composition. One, you're going to hit nades all day. There's no diva out there to eat up your nades. So you're going to have great charging potential and anti-heal compositions. 2, I mentioned this, the best way to beat a Sombra-style composition like this is you got to go fast. What helps you go fast? Ana gets nano boost, you put it on the Rhine, and you just be super, super aggro. You get there very quickly. Neko also slept the Sombra plays from Paris 3 times on that Paris map. So he's got great game sense, super smart, and when you get hacked, you can still throw out your healing.
Neko lying in wait, hoping.
Fire at will.
But there's a grab, and are we gonna get that combo? Sure enough, instantly killed, sleeps her through.
Another sleep.
Taking things off, and yep, sure enough, Danye taking a nap up there, doing nothing for his team.
This is a great push. Everything going right. I mean, I like Neko as a Zenyatta, but the play I've seen out of him throughout the Overwatch League 2019 season on Ana has been absolutely stellar.
Looking for it, bubbles this time, not quite gonna happen. Gonna get the choke point there, and the high ground, this is exactly where Neko wants to be. High ground, just keeping everybody topped up. Good angle play here, gonna make it difficult. Danye, once again, will get the hack off this time. Team is up, and the sound barrier is there for aid, and Neko's gonna get his abilities back in the nick of time here. Could go for a boost if he wanted, if somebody dropped dangerously low. Ivy may get that attention here, but it's looking like Toronto Defiant. So far, they're definitely holding their own. There's the EMP over the top, full-on hack on everybody on the Defiant. That was as good as it gets.
That is entirely correct. 100% as good as it gets. 6-man ultimate. They get the cleanup. However, the swing back on EMP is the other team doesn't get a chance to make mistakes. Doesn't get a chance to use ultimates in a bad situation. So now, Toronto comes in with the advantage here, and I think they run this just like they ran first point. You nano, Shurik, and you let them swing away. You go forward. If that fails, you can still grab afterwards. There's no team to eat the grab, so you just chuck it.
Yep, doesn't even care. Straight in there. Benbest and Cruz instantly picked off. Not going to help things here for the defense. Paris Eternal, they're in a world of hurt. As Danye and Finzi both get caught as well. Gray gone, and this is going to be the Toronto Defiant successfully picking up the second point. Are they going to be able to make it back in time? Quite a long way to run, and it's not looking like it. So, 2 points here for Toronto, and they're going to have plenty of time.
They made a great adjustment. They made a great adjustment against this Sombra play from Paris. Running the Ana has been so good, but mostly it's the very aggressive style that they've been able to play against this. Danye is going to have another EMP, and now Paris is starting to take the ultimate advantage. But they've got a little shy of 4 minutes to just push this card a little bit.
Another sleep there. That time Benbest being forced to take a nap. Oh, well, let's see. We've got the grab coming in once again here from Finzi. Gonna be looking for that opening. God's a real thorn in his side though, but Gray to kick things off with a kill on Aid. Shark goes down as well, and Paris Eternal buying some valuable time. 3.5 minutes on the clock for Defiant, so they can afford to be patient.
Yeah, it's tough for Shark to go down early there because there was a late anti-heal on both tanks up front in Benbest and Finzi. A couple hammer swings would have dispatched them rather easily. Also, Paris gets to hold on to this EMP. 3 minutes remain. You usually assume that means 3 decent pushes for your offense.
Oh, looking for it, but not quite there.
I got moved away.
Yeah, that's
Heads
a tough
play by Aid.
Yeah, sick work there, Danye. That shield goes down. It's a glorious time, but we are still going to get the pressure here. Shark pasted against the payload, and we will have the EMP over the top. Nico kicking off the party here for the defense. Paris Eternal so far doing a good job. Another 40 seconds bled off the clock here for the Defiant. They used a lot though, Paris.
Yeah, we spoke about the advantages of the Ana composition versus a Sombra composition. The disadvantage is that you don't have Transcendence to deal with the Gravitons that are going to be up. The only AoE healing that's going to come out as an ultimate is going to be Aid Soundbearer. He's done a good job of that so far. Early Shatter comes out, knocks down a couple, but not in position to follow that up.
Nice delay on the sound barrier here. This is definitely going to work out for Paris. Certainly, they are putting the pressure on the Defiant, whittling down those shields, but still 2 kills coming through for Defiant. Despite it all, Vinci going down as well. Quick reset here from Paris. But there is not a whole lot of room left for them to make error here. They have to lock it down before the Arch.
Getting late kills too, and you might even get caught out on that translocate. Shark trying to get in position here. He's gonna have Shatter ready. He's been a prime hack target, but it's gonna stay alive thus far.
This is gonna get chaotic, Hex. They've got 2 minutes to hold here. Defiant, loads of room to work with. They're trailing in the series 2-1, but they are on the brink right now, tying it up 2-2 and taking us to a map 5. 3 kills coming through for Paris though, and so Toronto, exactly. Don't really mind.
You hold everything there, you get Grav. You know you don't have any answer for Grav. Rally comes out, that's fine. Rally always comes out whenever you have it. Still an EMP up, ready to go. Gods gets killed late there, but that's the plight of the D.Va player. So to initiate next fight, my biggest question is, do they put the nano boost onto Ivy to maybe get a grab during this fight? Because Shriek already has his ult, or Sharik rather, excuse me. It's a difficult name to say, we're learning.
Now you know, old habits die hard, right?
Yeah, I didn't pronounce it wrong for 2 years.
EMP going through, yes, couple on hacked, and that is definitely going to be favoring Paris Eternal, finding all the kills. Toronto now, we're down to the final minute. Okay. And they need what?
Well, last time this happened, I said, that's fine. This time it's not so fine, because they just use Nano Boost, they just use Shatter. They've got nothing to work with coming into this final fight. Does the Toronto Defiant. 45 seconds remain. They're going to be walking into a Graviton Surge. Maybe Sound Barrier gets here.
Gonna have to do the damage quick here, Aid, if you're gonna have it. It's looking like it will happen. 30 seconds, time to be patient. A little bit of room here yet. It's gonna be the first team to flinch though. They're doing very well here. Paris perhaps a little bit more of that experience gonna be paying off for them on this stage.
Sound Barrier's up.
On Defiant, there's the grab thrown in by Ivy, bringing them together. Transit up, Sound Barrier as well, and Paris looking to really just crush Toronto Defiant as quickly as possible here. Aid somehow surviving, and they are still making progress. Still alive, but a big flank shatter, and that's gonna lead to 1 kill. IM37 is out of it. Nico gonna get pasted, so we traded the rally machines. EMP though could make all the difference. You need to stay alive on the point though. 2 are still here for Paris. Vinci and Cruz doing the best they can. Danye working on that EMP. 3-on-3 situation, and this is going to favor Paris. They're going to be able to get out onto this point faster. Cruz gets picked, but this is it. Paris doing a good job. Hammond over the top as well, and no! On a Widow! Headshot on Vinci's definitely going to ruin things here for Paris.
Still not over yet. Stall heroes are out just in the back lines. So IM37 clicking away. Donnie is able to take down Aid. This one is on a razor's edge here. But the sustain up front from Paris still looking good. Gray with the switch.
Oh, Gray with the clutch. Headshot on Ivy too. Gods goes down. This is it. Paris Eternal. They'll get the job done, Hex. They will hold despite it all.
What an end to that series. Paris comes out strong. I thought it was gonna be over when Shark hit that shatter, knocked down a couple, they cleaned it up. A nice kill from IM37 coming back. Gray says 2 can play it that game. He comes out, gets a couple of kills himself. My goodness, what a series.
I really thought that Toronto had pulled a fast one on them. When you saw that Widow come in, I was like, oh no, this is it. Is it gonna happen? They could do it, but nope, not meant to be. And it will be Paris taking the victory, 3-1 over the Toronto Defiant.
I always like to give some...
got some Gods fans in the crowd here.
I like to give some credit to the Vanquish team as normal here. I think that Toronto picking up these players has looked very good. I'm very impressed with how quickly it seems that Gods and Sharik have integrated themselves into the team. I mean, a few missteps here and there. Sharik was getting focused pretty hard. They got to work on that, where to fall back to when that happens. But see, after that match here, Toronto Defiant will fall to 13. They're just on the outside looking in. Paris Eternal with a much-needed win find themselves at 16 overall at 6-9. Not out of it yet. Look, they're only a game behind the cutoff. You just got to get to the dance. Just get to 12.
Just got to focus on it. We're going to take a look at their schedule here as well for the Paris Eternal. So they will pick up the win versus the Defiant. Uprising, another interesting match. They're going to have their work cut out for them versus the Excel, though. But if they can get a win up next versus Boston,
yeah,
that could set them on the footing. You take that match versus NY, you learn from it, and then you go into Mayhem and Outlaws.
It's really all about how they perform against Boston. So they need to put all their coaching, all their efforts, all their scouting into Boston, because with 2 matches coming up against Boston, if you can take both those matches, then you have Mayhem and Outlaws, which look winnable, then all of a sudden you're at a 5-win stage easy. Could always take a match off of Seoul. Who knows which Seoul shows up, although they've looked much better. And then NYXL, I don't know. They've shown they can bleed.
So let's go ahead and take a look at our player of the match next. Man, who earned it? Omen by HP. Player of the match. Great.
A couple of interesting transcendences, but he really bounced back, and just the aim that he has. I mean, obviously the Widow at the very end was just to seal the deal on his player of the match, but he comes out clicking, and I think if they can just shore up some of the ultimate inefficiencies that they had during that match, they could be a team to be reckoned with, because this pure mechanical skill by your Zenyatta player is so important. The best teams in the league have great Zenyatta players, and Gray is trying to reach that level.
I love seeing that when it comes down to 50-50. He's just doing it all. Damage, healing, keeping his team alive, and then obviously the offensive assists really coming through. So congratulations to Gray, Omen by HP MVP of the match. And that is our first match here in the studio. But we will be going into a second one, Boston versus London, coming up right after this. We have 4 matches total today, Hex. And that's going to be the second one right after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.